Hi guys, Sin of Saints here, and welcome to my channel. If you enjoy the content you're seeing, please leave a like, share, and subscribe for more content. Alright guys, so today we're going to be taking out some Tier 7 Roman Cavalry. Now, there are some disclaimers here. One, there is another YouTuber in this video. Name is Jonah the Orange, and the reason why I bring this up in particular is because he made a video a couple months back about Roman Cavalry. In the video he states how good Roman Cavalry is. He says how tanky you are, and then he proceeds to say to not charge infantry. I would like to expound upon what he has said and give a rundown of the different cavalry forces and their purposes. So to start it off, we're going to start off with Greek cavalry. Greek cavalry is a shock cavalry. You are fast, not the fastest, as barbarian cavalry is generally faster than you, but you are faster than Roman or Carthaginian cavalry, and your charge is much more impactful than any other cavalry unit in the game. You're best suited for taking out archers. Now, having said that, you could charge infantry. Once you do, hammer, anvil, pull out. Now, having said that, you're going to take some serious losses, odds are, and I would say that it's not beneficial as Greek cavalry. Next, we'll go into Carthaginian cavalry. Unless you're counting elephants, Carthaginian cavalry is completely trash. Your damage is crap, your charge is pretty much crap. You can do damage with it, obviously, and your best bet with them is as a harassment cavalry, run up, charge in through archers or something, go up to a melee fight, debuff the enemy, buff your allies, throw your javelins, and GTFO. Barbarian cavalry, quite similar to Carthaginian cavalry, except you're way faster than anyone else, and you have a pretty decent charge, and with Arminius, your harassment is a lot better, as you can throw Scorched Earth. And then finally, last but not least, Roman cavalry. Roman cavalry is best suited for melee combat out of all the other cavalry units. You're tanky, you have a good shield, it's good for blocking archer fire because you're so slow. And later on in this, I'll demonstrate what I mean with a nice rear charge into some spears. And that spear unit happens to be Jonah the Orange, who says don't charge infantry. So you'll see that it's a situational thing. And he makes good valid points about not charging infantry because, you know, as cavalry, you should always be looking for archers, for slingers, for javelins, for artillery that is able to be taken out because you are the most suited for that role. Now, having said that, as Roman cavalry, you're slow. If you can get the charge off and help your infantry, do it. Because most range units aren't going to do that much damage to you, save for javelins and artillery. Now, on this map in particular, I like to go into the woods by where I spawned, go through that breach in the gap. When you go through the woods there, it gives you the opportunity to get a nice rear charge on any archers that are most likely going to come up through there, and any support infantry that they would have. But yeah, as Romans, don't be afraid to rear charge enemy infantry. If you're charging for the front, you better hope it's barbarian infantry, because you're probably not going to do that much to a frontal charge on enemy infantry. But you can always rear charge infantry. You're much more mobile. Wait for them to get stuck in with your guys is your best bet. Once they're stuck in, you can charge. And once you've charged into their rear, you're going to absolutely destroy their morale. And then you pop war cry, and that unit is completely broken, and you can just chew them up. Now, I believed that they had spotted me. So I turn around. Obviously I was slower than they are. They could get up and get the vision, but I don't think they actually saw me as I get this wonderful charge coming out of the woods on them. Taking out probably around, once it's all said and done, I take out about 2/3 of their unit. Obviously I get in, pop my war cry, rout them, chew them up, rout this next unit, chew them up even more. Like I said, they left with maybe 2/3 of their unit, with 1/3 of their unit left. And I suffered maybe 10% damage. So a decent trade. They're way faster than I am in the woods, but they're still going to get debuffed as cavalry. So I charge after them. I gathered my units up to make sure I didn't have any stragglers, because I like a nice tight Roman formation. It gives a really hard charge when you're stacked up like that. I do a quick check to see how the rest of the battle's going. I see they have some elephants, but we have javelins and we have pikes, so I'm not concerned about that right now. I see him, I start to go after him. I'm like, hang on, I don't want to lose him here, which I do. And I'm looking through the woods, and I just seen a horse cut out, so I turn to go and meet him, and of course now he pops out of the woods and I can see him, and I'm charging after him. I do a quick little ping here like, hey guys, there's some enemies here, as I charge after them. They come up here. I believe they were looking to get a charge off on maybe some archers that might be available, but then they saw it was infantry and they're like, oh, never mind, so they take this path. This guy was completely oblivious to the fact that it's enemies. I'm pinging, hey dude, turn, and he doesn't. I'm like, what the hell? Charge! So I get the charge off. He's lucky that they didn't charge him. If they did, it would have absolutely destroyed him. I take a few more losses here, and I pop my buffs to give me better melee against them, and just sit in for a little bit. Of course, I'm fighting Barbarian Cavalry of the same tier, tier 7. At this unit, at this particular tier, the Barbarian Cavalry is Sword Cavalry, which is a melee cavalry, whereas I am a Spear Cavalry, so I'm more of a Shock Cavalry. But having said that, I am far more tanky than they are, and after 2 successful charges on them with a higher charge impact than what they have, you'll see that in no time I will cut this guy down and he'll pull out his last unit. So he begins pulling out. I can't pull out. I've popped Oath of Perseverance, which is what you want to do when you're going to get stuck into a prolonged engagement. So I'm slow as fuck right now. This guy should have already been preparing to block him off, but he wasn't. But hey, it's whatever. We're still, I believe that's 678 points to their 380 something. So I go charging down here. They're capping. I want to decap. They're already at about 1/4 way through the cap. I can see the front there pretty well. Nobody's there, so I'm going to run up over here. And I get vision on the center. Nobody's in the center, so I'm going to go to the back. And voila, there's an elephant. Normally, I would not have gone for this. As cavalry, you're not gonna do anything to an elephant that is actively paying attention. Luckily for me, this elephant player was not paying attention to the unit. He had capping, so I get some nice decap points, and I do about a quarter damage to them. Of course, our javelins will be returning, and when they return, they're like, hey, I got the elephant, so I leave. As you can see, I'm busy chewing them up. No problem. Says, yo man, I got the elephants. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fucking pull out. I definitely don't want to take friendly fire from javelins. Javelins hurt. Bada boom, bada bang. You see the archer fire, boom, that first hit takes about 5 seconds, and the elephant's dead. So, I look to see what's going on. I see there's some infantry, and I see there is a lot of archer force right now. Just pelting away at these pikes. Pikes are a really good unit, but they're pretty weak to range units, as they have pretty small shields. So, being like a good Roman and being like a good cavalry player, I lead the charge. Come across here. This is what I'm talking about. There's infantry, and then there's archers out by themselves. I go for the archers. This is the perfect situation for a Cav player. As one charge pretty much destroys them. After the graphics update, CPU lag has been an issue for everyone, and I get CPU lag in both this game and in the next clip that I'll be showing, that will have Jonah in it. So I sent what was supposed to be all of my units, but ended up just being one of my units, so probably misclicked, out over here to go fight these archers. Which I just go ahead and give them all the order to engage. I'm being shot by other archers, but I'm just going to run up here and get my units nice and smushed in here till they cover most everywhere. And now I'm going to pop my war cry, if I didn't already. I may have already popped it. Anyway, route the unit, and as you can see, I'm just going to sit there. They're pinned between my horses and that wall, so they can't escape. So, bread and butter situation there. I'm just going to absolutely tear them apart. And now I'm going to pull out. I see our archers are firing, not going to worry about that. And our pikes have charged up and are engaging this infantry, so I'm going to leave them to it. So the only unit currently unengaged is this barbarian player, who I get a nice charge off on, and I even get a little bit off on the archers back there. So I pop my buffs here, and I start chopping them down. Obviously he was a lot healthier than I was, but my charge destroyed him pretty well, and take a little bit of friendly fire here from javelins, but it's not too bad. He popped his oath, I popped my war cry. Or no, he didn't pop oath, he popped defiance. I don't know why I called it oath. It's the same thing pretty much, but he pops his defiance, I pop my war cry, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh crap, these are barbarians. They've popped defiance. So I just do this the old-fashioned way. Their defiance runs out, and now they start to get overwhelmed.
No prisoners! Now the triumph is assured!
And boom, top of the score. This goes back to knowing what you are best suited to engage. I knew that was barbarian infantry. I'd had time to examine it. In this next clip, I charge off on some Roman and I believe Carthaginian infantry, and I do almost no damage to them. Same tier. And it was a front charge too, so I met them in the woods. I was expecting barbarians because I met them in the woods. Romans are crap against Romans are crap. Sorry, I just got a text from a friend asking about Dungeons and Dragons. But Romans are crap in the forest. They just are.
Prepare for war!
So, to see a Roman in the forest was quite surprising. But anyway, this next clip will have Jonah the Orange in it, and for a while I'm absolutely stunned by the map. It's Alpes Grea after the update so that it's not snowy, and it completely catches me off guard. I'm like, is this the map I think it is? Is this something else? What's going on, you know? But the next segment is, it's rough. I still finish about 4th or 5th, you know, mid-tier of the team, which is decent. I think about 3,000 points or so. Maybe it's mid-2000s, but I think it's about 3,000 points or so. But I'm really screw up the I screw up my charges on some range units, some javelins and archers. Literally the thing that I'm absolutely the best suited to engage out of everything I could engage, and I just completely dropped the ball. Do great against melee here, though. Absolutely destroy some spear units, but fail on the ranged portion. Now, having said that, I specifically mentioned that it's spear units. Jonah the Orange was playing a Miltiades, and as cavalry, the 2 units you should fear more than any other are spears first and then pikes second. Now, the reason why I say spears first is because they have bonus damage to cavalry. So you gotta make sure you get a rear charge on them if you're gonna charge them. I don't recommend charging any melee unless you're playing Roman Cavalry, because you can actually withstand a pretty decent amount of damage. But you could get close to them with Arminius Cavalry and throw a Scorched Earth on them, especially if they're in their phalanx, and do a lot of damage. My next video I'm going to be uploading for Total War Arena, I will be playing Spears, supported by my buddy Darkness, who will be playing Javelins. And you'll see during some of our videos I get charged multiple times by cavalry who just really want to get to him, but they can't because I'm in a phalanx, and as cavalry you're not going to break through a phalanx. You're going to suffer a load of damage, and it's suicide. But like I said, that's tomorrow. Rear charge spears if you're going to charge spears as cavalry. Otherwise, it's a waste. So we're going to do a quick recap here of the cavalry gameplay. I guess you could almost call this a general tutorial, as I've told you kind of how you can play each cavalry and how I feel that each cavalry is best suited for. Barbarian cavalry, you're fast, you're a good scout unit, good ambush unit, really great for taking out archers, as you can get in, hit them hard, and pull out before they get supported by allied cav or allied infantry. As Greek cav, you are great at taking out enemy cav players. You're pretty fast, so you can probably catch most barbarians as long as you can have the foresight to engage them properly, you'll easily catch Carthaginian or Roman cavalry and do a devastating charge on them. And of course, you can destroy ranged units. That was a poor charge on some infantry. Like I said, that was Roman infantry in the woods. It's a complete surprise. I was expecting barbarians. Carthaginian cavalry, you can... I don't know. They're in such a bad place right now. They're a support cavalry. You can do some good damage with them. We were in a game, and dude was rocking Carthaginian cavalry with some spears, and he did pretty decent. But they're support cavalry for sure. You can see here, you'll see the first charge that I'll get off on Jonah completely. Rear charge him close range so I can plow through as many of his units as I can. Pretty much knock everyone down to the ground. Take out about 3/4 of his health. Pop my war cry, rout him. Take out another, I don't know, 10-15%. He's got a few units left, not much. He's got maybe 10% of his health left. I took out 90% of his unit in one charge, and he's still routed right now, just pulling out. This next spear unit I will also charge, and then I'll finish up what I say about cavalry, and you can just watch as I fumble with this ranged assault that I attempt. CPU lag I try to pull out. I'm down to like 12 frames a second, as you can see in the upper left hand corner. Anyways, I go ahead and engage. Get a pretty decent little charge there, take out 20% maybe health, and we just get stuck in. Mostly there's ranged units up here at the front right now, so I'm going to be doing the majority of the damage. Get in, finish it off. Anyway, so with Roman cavalry, obviously if you can get ranged units, that's probably going to be your, you need to, as any cavalry unit, look for ranged units. That's going to be your best target. They're the most weakly armored, and your charge is going to do usually the most damage to them. As Romans, though, you have the advantage of being able to fairly efficiently charge enemy infantry units. Obviously you're faster than infantry, you can micro till you can get a rear charge on them, and once you get that rear charge, they are screwed, as they just will suffer so much damage, especially from a rear charge. Pop your war cry, break their morale, easy day. Now I will say this, you do not want to get stuck in for too long, because eventually their morale will most likely recover, or allied units will come up. Now if you do get stuck in, pop Oath of Perseverance. That's going to increase your defense, and you will survive much longer, and hopefully you can hold them long enough that an ally can come and support you, maybe get their take some of the pressure off of you.
Our men flee the field broken.
As you can see, I make it out with 2 units of forces, and this will be a quick demonstration of how even with 2 units of forces, you can still do quite a bit of damage here. I wait for the CPU lag issue that I'm having to clear up. Obviously, I don't have any lag right now, but my frames are still 15 frames a second. So I'll wait for it to clear up a little bit. I get a nice charge off. Watch this. Boom. Take out 10% maybe. Boom. Take out another 10%. So 20% damage on 2 separate ranged units with 1 charge with only 2 horses. That just goes to show that even as a decimated cavalry unit, you can still do a lot of damage. So to summarize, any cav unit, try to
go for range if you can. If you're Romans, don't be ashamed for going for infantry. If you're Greek, you can fuck up Cav. If you're Barbarian, Arminius, use your Scorched Earth to help out your infantry, man. Throw it on the enemies. If you are Carthaginian, use your javelins, apply buffs, try to avoid getting into combat. You're pretty much garbage all the way around. Like, they're just... Carthaginian cavalry is acceptable, but you're gonna be better off playing a different unit if you want to play cavalry. So, that's about it. You can see how to play some Roman cavalry, how effective it is at taking out infantry. In the previous game, you saw how good it was against other cav units. And you saw how good it was against archer units, and how good it was against infantry. Last game was really the creme de la creme match of the two. But all in all, pretty decent. I got 4th in this, I think. Anyways, guys, keep it real, and hope I'll see you out on the battlefield sometime in Total War Arena. Anyway, this has been Sin of Saints, signing off.